Have you ever wondered why some people are plagued by poor health, while others seem to live healthy, vital lives even though they eat similar kinds of food? Why do some people easily attain their ideal weight, but others struggle to keep the pounds off, even though they eat the same types of food? The answer lies in individuality. Remember the old saying, one man's meat is another's poison? Well, it turns out that this is literally true. The reason of that is because we have different blood types, and each blood type digests and assimilates food in very different ways. The discovery was made by naturopathic Dr. James D'Adamo. In the 60s, when he was treating his patients with a very popular spa cuisine at the time, which means a strict vegetarian and low-fat diet, he noticed that some of his patients did very well, but others' conditions actually worsened. He was curious about the difference, and he came up with the theory that different blood types may have contributed to that. After all, when food is being digested, it comes into direct contact with our blood. And it is our blood that carries the broken down nutrients from our stomach and intestines to the rest of our body. So why wouldn't that interaction have something to do with the health outcomes? Sure enough, he found that his type A patients did much better on a strict vegetarian diet, whereas his type O patients thrived on a diet that contained meat and fish. This discovery was groundbreaking, and as Dr. D'Adamo's son Peter D'Adamo went on to become a naturopath himself, he took this discovery further and conducted scientific research to create a comprehensive understanding of blood types' influence on health and diseases. He then developed his concept of eating right and living right based on your blood type. Since his book Eat Right for Your Type came out in 1997, millions have read his book, and countless people have reported sustainable weight loss and improvements in their long-term health. Many have had their lifelong health issues resolved. I'm one of those lucky ones. After experimenting with a ton of different diets, I started following the blood type diet in 2009. And within the same year, I have been healed from a variety of ailments that have bothered me since childhood. All kinds of digestive problems, cold sores, severe seasonal allergies, headaches, PMS, excess mucus, frequent colds and flus, and even all the cysts in my breast disappeared completely. I've had those since I was a teenager, and can you imagine the relief that I had when I finally got rid of those cysts? Well, my bra cup size shrank by one size, but I was really happy about it. I didn't mind that at all. Now, what is the blood type diet based on? Just like the fingerprint, our blood type is a unique genetic trait. It contains a biochemical makeup that defines our unique physiology. Your blood type can tell you a lot about what makes you, you. Let me give you a brief introduction on why blood type matters. Lectins. Food, beverages, and supplements contain lectins that interact with your cells depending on your blood type. This explains why some nutrients which are beneficial to one blood type may be harmful to another. If you look at this image taken under the microscope, on the left you'll see how our blood cells behave under normal circumstances. On the right, you'll see how our blood cells clump together when it's in touch with lectins that they identify as foreign, much like enemies attacking our body. This process that you see is called agglutination. Now, our body is able to get rid of most of these enemy lectins through a robust digestion system, but there are about 5% of them that stay in our body. And when we take in the same types of food with these enemy lectins day in and day out, the result is that we are going to have systemic inflammation. Now, what does that mean? It means that our body has an underlying inflammation throughout. This can in turn contribute to chronic diseases. I'll give you an example. Inflammation is actually the body's natural defense against pathogens, injuries, and things that the body can't break down and assimilate. High cholesterol in our body is a typical reaction to these enemies. They are like little firefighters shooting foam at the sites of fire, but they often get blamed for causing cardiovascular diseases. The right way to make them disappear is not to kill them, poor firefighters. They are your friends, but only when needed. You don't want them to occupy your house and live there forever. So the best way to send them away is to prevent fires in the first place. And how do you do that? By always eating the right types of food that your body recognizes as friends rather than enemies. You can use the same analogy and apply it to other types of chronic conditions that you want to prevent or reverse, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases, and obesity. Now let's talk about gastric juices and digestive enzymes. Different blood types have very different digestive capabilities. That's because the amount of naturally occurring digestive juices varies among blood types. Let me give you a snapshot for each blood type. Blood type A has the lowest amount of stomach acid and intestinal alkaline phosphatase, which is the digestive enzyme in the intestine. Let's just call it IAP. Because of the low level of IAP, type A people generally have a tough time digesting meat. That's why eating a mostly plant-based diet is beneficial to them. Type O, on the other hand, has the highest amount of stomach acid and IAP among the 4 blood types. That's why they have a robust digestive system and are able to digest meat and animal protein efficiently. And that's why type O thrives on a diet that contains a substantial proportion of animal protein. Type B lies somewhere in between the 2 types in their digestive power, but somewhat closer to type O. So they're able to digest animal protein pretty well. Type AB is closer to type A in terms of digestive power, but with a bit more IAP, so they thrive on a vegetable-heavy diet, but can enjoy a little bit more animal protein than type A. The last thing I'd like to share is the relationship between our blood type and our gut microbiome, or gut flora. It's a well-established medical fact that blood type is a major influence on the bacteria that grow in the digestive tract. And it is an increasingly known fact that our microbiome has a tremendous influence on our overall health, from our digestion to immune defense. Not only that, because 90% of our serotonin receptors are found in our gut, a healthy gut can contribute to emotional health and our sense of well-being. According to Dr. Peter Diadamo, the types of bacteria growing inside the digestive tract of one blood type differs greatly from those of another blood type. And the difference could be as much as 50,000 times. Therefore, to ensure the optimum health of your gut flora, it is critical to eat according to your blood type. These are just very basic physiological explanations of why our bodies differ based on our blood types. The key to remember is that we have inherited genetic traits, including our blood type, from our ancestors. And our ancestors developed the traits based on their environmental adaptations. As much as we would like to eat differently than what our blood type tells us, we cannot change our blood type. Our body will thrive if we respect our uniqueness. If we fight its natural tendency, we'll face an uphill battle and lots of obstacles. If you have struggled with your health and weight up to this point, you've likely not given your body's unique physiology the proper attention and respect. Let's give it some love from today. In this lesson, I have included a list of food and beverages for each blood type. Download the ones for your specific blood type. Each list contains 3 categories. The first category is beneficials. They work like medicines. They can heal your body and increase your metabolism, which means they will speed up your weight loss. Eat those 75% to 100% of the time to bring your healing and metabolism to a maximum level. The second category is neutrals. These are foods that you can enjoy but don't have medicinal values for you necessarily. They do give you some nutrients to add variety to your diet. This list is handy when you aren't able to fill your grocery cart or your plate with only beneficials. Add them occasionally. Now, the food lists you are going to download below contain only the neutral foods that are found to increase your microbiome diversity and discourage microbiome imbalance. They don't contain all the neutral foods because there are simply too many. The rule of thumb is any food that is not included in the beneficials and avoids lists can be considered neutral. However, if any neutral food does not sit well with you, don't continue. The third category is avoids. These are foods that you need to stay away from. Think of them as rat poison. They work against you, cause damages in your body, and slow down your metabolism, and thus preventing weight loss. I would aim at avoiding them 100% of the time. But when you are just getting started, it can be overwhelming. And avoiding certain food may cause you to have a detox reaction. It can be unpleasant. That's why I want you to reduce them gradually. So here's the plan. Go through the food lists. Let each item sink in. Then choose 3 foods from the beneficials to introduce to your diet if you aren't already eating them regularly. Eat them at least 3 times a week. For the neutrals, just eat them normally. But remember, the key is to eat a lot more beneficials than neutrals on any given day. Lastly, choose 3 foods from the avoids list to remove from your diet. For the tougher and addictive types, such as coffee, except for type A, and wheat, you need to gradually reduce the amount. It can be tough. That's why I'm here to support you while you're going through this process.